Hello, FlossTube. Long time no see. I do still exist. Here I am. Yeah, 2020 was a thing for everybody, but especially for those of us who sew. I made about 3,000 masks in 2020, so I spent a lot of time at my sewing machine. And then everybody working from home, and I only film when nobody's here, and I was never here by myself, and then I was working a bajillion hours and all this other stuff. So I finally have a chance and some time and the energy. We're filming a FlossTube. What you're hearing in the background probably is my dog. We got a COVID puppy. That's what my old roommate kept calling her, was our COVID puppy. She wasn't intended to be a COVID puppy. For those who have followed my FlossTube for a long time, you'll remember I used to have a white German Shepherd. We lost her in 2018. And we were kind of starting to think about getting another dog earlier this year. And then my husband happened to come across a breeder that was in the same town as his, I don't know what she's getting to, as the high school he teaches in, and they had good breed lines and had done the genetic testing and all this other stuff to make sure that there was no genetic conditions that ran in the breed line. And what are you doing? It. Anyway, and so we brought Rika into our family. She was born in February. She is 10 months old. She is 70 pounds of pure energy and love, and she just hit my tripod. Let me see if I can get her to come over here. Rika, come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. Yeah. You can barely see her. There she is. There she is. Yep. What are you eating? She's like having a toddler. You have to like fish stuff out of her mouth constantly. She's eating a cat toy. Yes. Yeah, that's a good girl. All right, get down. Get down. There's Schmidda. Good girl. Her commands are in German. We've trained her in German, which is kind of fun when you go out and you're like, and you tell her like, Platz, bleib. And like everybody's like, what are you saying to her? And I'm like, it's fine. You don't even know. Why did you just bring me a plastic lid? I know you have throw it on your face. Welcome to FlossTube with Puppy. Go play with, I gave her a bone to try to entertain her with, and she's over here like, what you doing, Mama? What you doing? So anyway, so now she has a squeaky toy. Okay, bye. So that's gonna kind of be like how FlossTube happens. Now also I have a cat perched. This is our hermit crabs. My husband brought them home from school last year and then like never took them back to school. So we have hermit crabs and there's a cat perched on top of them. And he has already fished one of the hermit crabs out once. So I have to keep an eye on him. Like, Loki, you behave. And there's also a cat on top of their fridge. So there will be appearances, I'm sure. So in the almost 2 years since I have filmed, it's been just shy of 2 years, I have gotten quite a few finishes done. I've done 11 finishes just this year. And then a handful last year, not as many. I've started like all the things, and I'm not even going to attempt to go through all the stash that I've gotten because I have a serious fabric buying habit and a dyeing habit. I have now started dyeing fabric. My company is called Valkyrie Stitchworks. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram under that name. I'm working on building a website. I just haven't had time. I do work 2 jobs. I work full time at the hotel now. And I work there through the day. I actually got a promotion there last year. So I work a lot of hours. I was out last week. I had knee surgery. Came back and immediately worked a 52-hour week. So that's how my life goes. So anywho, so let's go ahead and get started with all of my finishes. I think I have them in order. I have them in order based on when I posted them on my Instagram. So I just went through my Instagram, found all my finishes since my last video in December of it was either December of 2019 or I think it posted in January of 2020. I filmed it on my phone because I couldn't find my camera. I have since found my camera. I also have gotten a new light, which will hopefully help with the colors because my phone like absolutely trashed all the colors of the fabric and I didn't want to deal with that. So I went back to the camera because it tends to do really well with colors, and then now I've got a daylight ring light, so hopefully that will help out as well. So first one, I had mentioned in my last video that I was really close to finishing Lady of the Flag, and I wanted to finish her at the retreat that I go to every year. Sadly, that was the last year that I have been to it because they did not have it in 2021, and that is Stitch Away. It's put on by Keepsakes in January. I decided not to go this year. I had too much going on in my life to kind of process at the time that registration opened, and this is the first year that they've done, you used to always get your room and your registration and everything all through Barbara at Keepsakes. She took care of all of it. And this year, you have to reserve the hotel room separately, and I just didn't have like the mind space to deal with the 2 different reservations, and then by the time that I did, it was sold out, so sadly no Stitch Away for me this year. Hopefully I will be back to it next year. Can I help you? She's down here barking at a cat. Back up. Rika! Rika! Dude, now you've got crap in your fur. Go away. Life with a puppy. Anyway, stop. She's obsessed with the cats. She wants to play with them, and she wants to lick them. She will like sneak attack lick them, and it's the funniest thing ever because they get so pissed off when she sneaks up and licks their face, like their head or something. Rika! Now you're making the cats knock into my... daily life. They just knocked my camera sideways, and I can't reach it to... Do I have something here that I can poke it with? I do. Because she knocked it sideways. Let's see if I can do this without knocking my camera over. It's not gonna work. Okay, well now you can see Loki on top of the hermit crabs. Must move my chair over. There we go. Ha! Now I'm back in the middle. Okay, so Lady of the Flag. I did finish her at Stitch Away, so that was really exciting. That was a big finish, and she is stitched on 32 count linen in Avalon by Under the Sea, and it is an opal linen, so it's very sparkly. And I deleted the banner at the bottom for 2 reasons. The first one was I didn't really like it, and so I was kind of apprehensive about stitching it anyway. And then as I was stitching, I realized that when I started her, I accidentally started her off center vertically, and so I didn't have enough room. And I was like, oh, good excuse to remove the banner. So I edited the bottom of her dress and filled it in so that it was smooth across with beads and everything. So here she is in all her glory. She's rolling up at the bottom, but there she is. And this fabric is this lovely blue into purple, and then up here by her torch is yellow. That's why her torch was placed where it is. I'm gonna pull it up to the camera just a little bit so you can see all those beautiful beads. I also deleted her crown, or she has like sparklies that come off of her crown, and I made her look like the Paramount logo in my opinion, so I deleted those too. But yeah, that's Lady of the Flag. She's my first Mirabilia, my first Mira finish, and I'm really proud of her. I am planning on having mats made for her by Jill Rensel, and then having her framed by my friend who does all my framing. Oh my god, my dog is knocking into my camera. Right, get over here. Get over. Over here. Over here. She brought me a pencil. She's obsessed with fetch. I'm gonna slide over here again. This is gonna be entertaining. This is gonna be a long video, guys. Okay, so there's Lady of the Flag. Next finish on some wonderful crunchy Aida. This is the only one that I have washed and ironed because the rest of them are all in hand-dyed fabrics. So she brought me her ball again. So apparently we're gonna play fetch with Rika. Rika, get out from under the table. Get. Block her with my knee that I just had surgery on. No, I have to be careful with that. So anyway, the next one is the Hogwarts Crest. Rika! I'm gonna have to go put her outside. I will be right back. And we're back. So I put the dog outside, fixed my camera. We should be good to go. She's not gonna knock into the camera anymore. And without her chasing the cats, hopefully the cats won't either. And here comes Loki. Alright, so anyway, as I was saying, Hogwarts Crest. It's by The World in Stitches on Tumblr. It's a free pattern. This has been sadly copied a lot of places, and I see it for sale on Etsy. This is a free pattern, guys. Don't pay for it. It's also a really good pattern. I found it like it's fairly simple. You can see that like not tons and tons of colors, not tons and tons of color changes. Lots of back stitching, but it makes it look really, really smooth. Then she also has the 4 house crests that go with this. I have completed 3 of the 4. The only one left is Slytherin. And then I can make those into some sort of wall display of the 4. And there's Oscar. Kitten. Oscar. 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 He's sniffing the camera. Come here, you. Yes, good boy. So, this is Oscar. He's one of my kittens. If you guys remember, we got 3 kittens back in 2018 after we lost Heidi. He's the smallest of the 3, but he's now, you know, huge. Yeah. Okay. Next, Haunted Mansion by Tiny Modernist. Funny story. I didn't discover until I was about halfway done with this that I had turned my fabric sideways in the Q-snap. So it looks kind of silly. It does fit, barely. I got really worried when I got to the top and was like, that's not where that's supposed to be. But it did fit. I'm planning on making it into probably a cushion, so it doesn't have to have a lot of border. This is stitched on 32 count linen in, I believe, Storm. I think it's Storm by Picture This Plus. And the only changes I made is I stitched all of the ghosts in Glow in the Dark Krynic and all of the skeletons in Glow in the Dark DMC. I don't ever want to stitch with Glow in the Dark Krynic again. That was the most evil thing I've ever stitched with. You can kind of see there. It just, you can't get it to lay nice. Oh my, it was awful. Hated it. Yeah. Don't want to do that again. The Glow in the Dark DMC really wasn't bad. It doesn't have very good coverage compared to regular DMC, but it didn't stitch terribly, and it looks my stitches look a lot better than the stitches on the Krynic. But it does glow in the dark, and that's kind of cool. All right. Next up, where are you? Here you are. Next up, we have Orlando by Awesome Pattern Studio. And a lot of you are probably like, but Kat, you live in Ohio. I lived in Orlando for a while. I have a lot of really good friends in Orlando. I do visit there multiple times a year because we go to Disney all the time. So I get to see my friends down there, and I consider Orlando kind of my second home. I do want to move back to Florida eventually. It's probably going to be like our retirement move. It'll be a while from now, but I do plan to move back to Orlando at some point. So this is on 28 count Summer Sky Jovelin. And I did make one small change. I'm about to sneeze. There it is. Okay, so I did make one small change, and that is, if you look here at the pulse sign, I added a rainbow to the underline in it. I did lose a former coworker in the pulse shooting. That was another reason for stitching this. I used to work on Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, which, if you followed any of the news about the pulse shooting, you would know that Louis Velma was one of the people who was killed at Pulse, and he worked on Forbidden Journey. I never worked with him directly at Forbidden Journey. He used to be at Disaster Studios, but I had worked with him at another ride where we had both gotten sent that day. And then a lot of my friends were friends with him, so that was a hard time. That was not long after I moved. Next up, Stretch Portraits, Haunted Mansion Stretch Portraits. This is by Good Morning Maui. This is on, pretty sure this is a 32 count. Yeah, that's a 32 count Lugana in Aubergine by Valkyrie Stitchworks, which is me. This is the only piece I've stitched on my own fabric so far. It's got something stuck to the back of it. Hang on. There we go. So there is a cattail. Showing up a little bright, but here's Oscar. So that's, see, if I hold it back here, the color is correct. but you can't see all the details. Actually, I think my light might be just a smidge bright. I'm going to turn it down a little. There we go. So it doesn't wash the color out so much. This is super, super cute. Stitched as called for, stitched as designed. I love Haunted Mansion. I collect a lot of Haunted Mansion stuff. It's one of my must-rides every time I go to Disney. And especially for, most people call her Tightrope Girl right here. For those who don't know, her name is actually Lillian Gracie. I dressed as her for Halloween one year. It was really great because when we went and rode Haunted Mansion and I was in my Lillian Gracie costume, and one of the cast members was like, "Good evening, Miss Gracie," and like it was really great. I was like, "Yes, you know your story." She has a couple of names. Another one that you hear a lot is Sally Slater, because that's what she was named in, I think, the comic books that they did. But if you ever find like the original backstory, she's actually supposed to be the daughter of Master Gracie, and so she's Lillian. All right, next up, this is by Sue Hillis, one of her pirate collection here. Isn't he cute? Piracy, a viable career option. I stitched this for my husband. This was both a start and a finish at StitchCon 2021. For those who haven't heard about StitchCon 2021, it was a hoot. There's nothing like a tornado warning and air conditioning being killed by cicadas. That was a thing. This is stitched on 32 count linen in Tiramisu by Under the Sea Fabrics. Stitched to go in my husband's classroom. I'm going to make that into a flat fold. I'm actually, let's be real, I'm going to have somebody else make it into a flat fold because I don't have the energy. My husband teaches high school, for those who don't know, and he loves pirates, so I tend to make him a lot of pirate stuff. All right, next, this is a big one. I hadn't even started pretty much half of these. This is, I know we're getting into, I think all of these were not started, starting with Orlando. These were all starts since my last video. This was going to be this was when I did my last video, I said this is going to be my New Year, New Start. It is my New Year, was my New Year, New Start. And I finished it, I think, in September. This is Frozen by Dona Stitch. It is stitched on a 32 count Belfast linen in opalescent white. And I converted all of the snowflakes to metallics. I know, you're not good. The camera never picks up the sparkles, ever. But these are all various metallics. When my grandma passed, I inherited her entire stash. Oh, Elsa's dress is done in the metallics too. And I inherited her whole stash. And she needlepointed, so she had a lot of needlepoint threads. This is mostly, there's a lot of Krynic braid. There is some Petite Treasure braid. There's some Petite Silk Lame braid. And then there is Rainbow Gallery Fireworks. Is this dark purple here in this snowflake is the Rainbow Gallery Fireworks. I loved stitching with that stuff. It stitched like silk. I mean, it was glorious to stitch with, and it is the sparkliest on the entire piece. So I loved that Fireworks, and I definitely want to get more of that. If I have to do like vibrant metallics again like that, I will probably use the Fireworks. It was awesome. If you can't tell, I love Frozen. I am wearing a Frozen hoodie. And one of the cats just ran into my tripod. Can I throw the cats outside? No, I'm not gonna throw my cats outside. They're my babies. My dog is just like, every now and then I see her run past the window back here. It's kind of funny. All right. Next up, this guy right here. This was also started since you last saw it. This is stitched on a 36 count linen in Galaxy with the original dye by Mystic. She's since had to change her Galaxy due to a discontinuation of one of the dye colors. And this is Astronauts and Planets by Cross Stitch For You on Etsy. Hold it up so you guys can see it a little better. Aren't they cute? Another one for my husband because he teaches earth, space science and astronomy. Don't know how I'm going to finish it yet. How I'm going to have it finished. Not sure yet. Back up. I've started storing all of my pieces rolled. Alright, and then the next two finishes, or the next three finishes, are kind of small finishes. But they're finishes nonetheless. And they're ones that I've just done within the last month, actually. So this is one that actually took me 3 days to stitch. Flamingo Bells. This is by Hands On Design. Stitched on 28 count Summer Sky Jubilee. Hold it up there. Isn't it cute? And that is stitched in the DMC conversion. Because I just don't do hand dyes unless there's a specific reason to. And I just realized that I think I am missing, yeah, I'm missing a finish. Let me check in here to see if it's in here. There's all of its threads. I'm missing a mill hill. I finished 3 mill hills this year. And he does not appear to be hiding in here, but I can show you what it looks like. Because I have a cover sheet. It's this little Christmas slide ornament here. I have no earthly idea where I stuck it. I'm sure it's in a bag somewhere. In fact, I'm pretty sure I know where it is now that I think about it. And then the next 2 mill hills that I finished, this is a buttons and beads collection. I'm going to hold it up in front of a piece of paper because, you know, mill hills are done on perforated paper. There were so many beads in this thing. Oh my gosh. This took forever. This is I Drive a Stick. I haven't put her little kitty cat on there yet. I'm going to do that before I finish it. I'm going to put this on a little frame. I'm going to take it to Hobby Lobby tomorrow and see if I can find a frame that fits it. But it's really cute. Like it's heavy. It has so many beads that it's actually like heavy. It's kind of neat. Like you can kind of see like all the beads on there. Oh my gosh, so many beads. Oop. Throwing things on the floor. My dog's barking at something. Don't care. She's a dog. All right. And most recent finish. This was actually finished yesterday. Haha. This is Christmas Morning by Mill Hill, and when I saw this kit, when it was first released, I literally ordered it like I think that day or the next day because it has a white German Shepherd in it. Isn't it adorable? It's so cute. There we go. He's so cute. And I saw that and I was like, oh, it's a white shepherd! Because Heidi was a white shepherd and you never see white shepherd stuff. So I had to have it. I also have its companion piece, Christmas Memories, which has a little orange cat and a white shepherd. But yeah, I love his little messy beard. It's so cute. It's all fringy. It was a pain in the butt to make, but it came out super cute. He looks like he's got bedhead. All right. I don't know what Oscar's playing with down there. Don't know that I care. All right. So then we're going to go to new starts since my last one, which isn't a whole lot, actually, because I have finished quite a few of them that I started. Take a drink. Still drinking Coke Zero. Let me see here. Yeah, I think only 4 of these are actually new. Alright, so we'll start with them in order. I restarted this one towards the beginning of 2020. I had started it in 2019. Hated the way I was stitching it. Ripped all of it out. Like 10,000 stitches. It was ridiculous. It was a page and a half. Restarted it. Still hated it. Decided I hated the fabric I was stitching it on, not just the way I was stitching it. Because I had originally stitched it 2 over 1/10 stitch. Hated it. Ripped it all out. Started doing it because I was doing it on a 28 count navy. And then started it 1 over 1 on that same fabric. I realized I hated it because I was working on Wisdom by Heaven and Earth, and I decided I really liked that 25 count Easy Grid fabric. So I ordered some of it and restarted it 2/1 Easy Count. So this is the Possibilities Evolutions Rainbow. I've got it on my Q-snap, so I'm going to kind of pop the corners of it off here so you can see. I have 4.5 pages done. There we go. And that is stitched 2/1 full cross on 25 count Easy Grid. So I'm really happy with that. Like I said, I really like the 2/1 on the 25 count now. That is my preferred way to stitch full coverages now. So I have ordered the fabric for my New Year New Start, which is also a full coverage, and now I'm gonna have to figure out how to stuff this all back in the gram guard. It's fine. Project bag, one I made. I have a hard time finding project bags that fit 11 by 11 Q-snaps. I leave my projects on their Q-snaps. So a lot of the more popular bag makers, my bags don't fit in. So I just make them. I have bought a handful, but most of my project bags are ones that I've made. Alright, next up is Anzac by Long Dog Samplers. I started this during Mayhem of 2020. I started quite a handful of projects during Mayhem. I'm going to pull this one off the Q-snap because it's a little over half finished. I think it's 53% finished right now. This is stitched on a fabric by Under the Sea Fabrics. I cannot remember what it's called. I'm sorry. And it is is this a linen? I'm pretty sure this is a linen. Actually, no. That's a Lugana. It's a 32 count Lugana. And I'm stitching it in DMC 823 is the main color I'm using. And then I'm doing the continents, so you can see Australia is done, in Calliope by Color and Cotton. These are just threads that I happen to have in my stash, so I pulled them out. I decided to stitch this in honor of all my friends on Virtual Stitchers who are from Australia. And I picked this fabric because this was shortly after the devastating wildfires in Australia, and kind of as a reminder of when I started it and why I started it, it reminds me of the wildfires surrounded by the ocean. So I really wish I could remember what this fabric was called because it's beautiful. So that is Anzac, and then I have this fabulous needle minder on it, I Descent, which I got from Live and Die LA. I would say like half my needle minders are from her and half my needles are from Stitch and Button. They're my needle minders enablers. I'm gonna have to it's gonna take me forever to redo everything from this video, but it's fine. It's fine. All right. Next up is Aurora Cabin. It's a Dimensions Gold kit. This was oh, sorry. I want to go back. Another bag made by me. I do sell my bags. I don't have very many in stock right now because I use them all. But when I have them available, I post them in my Facebook group under Valkyrie Stitchworks. This bag is, who was this made by? It's got a tag on it somewhere. I thought it did. I guess not. Could have sworn this had a tag on it. But I got it at StitchCon 2020, and it is the first vinyl front project bag I have gotten because it's the first one big enough to fit an 11 by 11 Q-snap. And it is Scuba Santa! I love it because I'm a scuba diver, so it was great. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Scuba Santa. Alright, so this is Aurora Cabin. This was a Christmas gift from my brother and sister-in-law a few years ago. So there's my progress on it. I'm using all the kit fabric and kit threads. Love, 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 love stitching on this. Really love it. I started this fairly recently. This was my new start after I finished my Dona stitch. Generally when I finish something, I start something. So that was my new start after I finished my Dona stitch. All right, and last, I hosted a retreat weekend before last in Yellow Springs called Stitching in the Springs. And while I was there, I wanted to start something new. So I started Celtic Snow by Northern Expressions Needleworks. Let me see if I've got the cover photo in here. I don't even know where the daggone pattern is gone. My life is falling apart as usual. Oh, it's in here. So this is what it will look like. Ooh, glare. Very pretty. It is all done in silks by Dinky Dyes. This is a kit that was put together by Valerie at Live and Dye LA. And she sent all of the Dinky Dyes and all of the beads. This is a project bag that I made. It's my very first vinyl front project bag. I'm gonna pull the pattern out so you can't see it. Very first vinyl front project bag. Yes, the zipper is crooked. It was my first one, y'all. Cool tie-dye pattern. I use this, I have like 5 yards of this fabric, so I use it as my like pattern test project. So I have like several purses out of this fabric and bags out of this fabric. Yeah, it's great. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna use the tie-dye because then I'll use it. I don't care, I love it. So anyway, so this is also on fabric dyed by Valerie at Live and Dye LA, specially dyed for this project. And this is a 32 count Lugana. And there's my start on it so far. Only have done 1 6-strand length of one of the Dinky Dyes so far. Needle minder up here came from Stitch and Button. See there. It's in the Dinky Dyes Mother of Pearl. Which I'm really enjoying stitching with. It's a very, very subtle variegation, which I really like. Looking forward to getting more into this project. Alright, so there's all my new starts that I have not finished yet since my last video. So everything else that coming up you have already seen. I am not going to go back and find pictures of my original progress. That just takes entirely too much time. I'm going to go the Sammy J route and just be like, this is what I did. So I'm just going to pull them out in the order that I have them right here in this bag. So we're going to start with Death by Cross Stitch. I am stitching this 1/1 on 25 count Lugana in Midsummer Night. Midsummer Night, Midsummer Dream, one of the two, by Under the Sea Fabrics. It is stitched in a Silks for You, variegated. Let's see. There we go. Now you can see the colors. You can see the variegation in it. Here we go. Last time you saw it, I think I only had the unicorn finished. So I've done all of this over here. Needle minder, I don't remember where it came from, but it was a gift from Tiffany. Tiffany just started a FlossTube like yesterday, day before, under Tiffer's World. So I will link her below. Oh, speaking of my retreat, this was the thing that I made as a gift for all the attendees. It's just a little bag. I got a Cricut, so I'm having fun with that. So I put the glittery vinyl letters on there. Stitching the Springs 2021. Registration is open for the 2022 event. It'll be the first weekend in November. I think it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th. I can't remember the dates. To sign up, you go to millsparkhotel.com/stitching. You can also find the link in my Valkyrie Stitch Works group. If you're not in my group, join it. I'm going to put a link in it. Lots of fun things happen in there. I've got the Silk Hank so you can see. This is like the most luscious color. I absolutely love it. I don't remember the PR number, but it's all these dark blues and purples and teal. I love it. Also, like, there's something about holding a hank of silk that you just like want to like pet it and like rub it on your face, which I'm not actually doing because it's gross, but I love this. Project bag made by me. Alright, last thing on a scroll frame that is missing one of its knobs. That's exciting. This is a Reolist Kit Carousel. Kit fabric, kit floss. Last time you saw it, I think I had like to here. So everything over here has been done since then. This was my New Year, New Start 2019. I don't stitch on it often just because like I have to be able to spread out all those threads. For those of you who've never seen a Reolist kit, they come, it's wool, acrylic wool, and they come on these cards like this. And I just need to be able to spread out with the cards and the pattern and everything like that. So I don't stitch on it much just because of, I have to be like in the right setting to do it. But it's fun to stitch on. And I'm looking forward to finishing it. I'm like, I have the top half of the carousel. It's a double-decker carousel. So I have the entire bottom half, and then I have like the top of it, you know, like the cupola and stuff of the carousel to finish. So that's like, I'd say probably a quarter of the way finished. Is that all that's in here? Yeah, that's all that's in here. I have my notebook that I keep all of my recipes in. And then that takes me to, do I really only have that many whips? I feel like I have more. I'm about to have more. That takes me to my two that are on the big giant scroll frames. I have UFO'd one of my Hades. The first one that I started, Magellanic Cloud, I was stitching it on navy blue Lugana because I didn't know how good the coverage was going to be, and then it ended up being fabulous coverage, and I didn't need to stitch it on the navy blue. So I hated stitching it on the navy blue. I have about a page and a half, I think I have 2.5 pages finished. And it is so confetti heavy for like no reason. So I haven't decided if I'm going to continue, if I'm going to restart that on new fabric or not, but right now I have UFO'd it. I also have pulled out of my rotation another Hade, which is the Cries of the Night Mini. That's the wolf howling. I'm tent stitching it, and I haven't tried it with Pattern Keeper yet. I will admit that, but I was really struggling with the tent stitching and the confetti. I don't know why my brain just doesn't like it. I've discovered I don't like tent stitch. I just don't, which is fine. Teach their own. 2 over 125 count is now my jam. So I'm going to show you my oldest Hade that I have not UFO'd first, which is Wisdom, artwork by Sherry Gerhardt. And I want to say this is page 6, so I've got almost 6 pages finished on this one. Stitching 2 over 1, 25 count, easy grid. I can't get over the detail on this. It's just amazing. Like, look at that. Look at the feathers and those little curly cues. I just love it. This is the Ravenclaw crest. I am obviously a Harry Potter fan. I'm not a J.K. Rowling fan, but I am a Harry Potter fan. I love the world she created. I don't love her. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So I do stitch a lot of Harry Potter stuff. She's never released any licensed, cross-stitch projects, so I don't mind buying them. I haven't bought any licensed Harry Potter stuff in a while, and that will probably continue. I have a lot of Harry Potter fabric in my stash. I have not bought more. I said that was all I was going to say about it, so I don't want to get political in here. It's not really political, it's a human rights issue, but anyway. So, next one up. This is my chatelaine. I am working on Polar Mandala, and I am stitching it with the 1 over 1 charting in the center. For those who don't know, it was charted as either 1 over 1 or 2 over 2, but I discovered that in the 2 over 2, it lost so much of the detail. And I love the 1 over 1 charting. I'm stitching this on 32 count Belfast linen and opalescent white. And there's my progress. So the end of this middle section is about right there. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. This has literally been like 2 years of work on this. I don't work on it often. Just because it's 32 count and I have to be like in the right mood, in the right mindset. But it's gorgeous. I did finally get the bead pack for it. That was something that I had been waiting on because it was a $60 bead pack. And with my promotion at work, I actually have some discretionary income now, and I was able to be like, oh, it's only $60 beat pack. Okay, I'll get that. And so that was, I think it was my Christmas present for myself last year, was the beat pack for that. How is all my whips? I don't trust it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do I really only have 9 whips? I really thought I had like 11 or 12 still. But I've been finishing so much stuff, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. So that makes me feel absolutely not at all guilty for my plans next year. So I've never been a monogamous stitcher, but excuse me. One more. Excuse me. So I've never been a monogamous stitcher, but I've never had a huge whip list either. I try to stay around the 10 range, 10 to 15. I think the highest I've been was 16. Like I said, right now apparently I'm at 9, and I think that is because I have UFO'd a few things, and then I went like on a finishing spree, and I was like, I need to finish all these projects that are almost there. And so I finished like Astronauts and Planets, and I finished Donut, and I finished, I don't even remember what else I finished. I finished like 5 projects in the course of 3 months. So it was a finish spree. And then I was like, should I start something? And then so I haven't really started much this year that I haven't also finished. I've only started 2 things this year that I have not also finished, and I've had 11 finishes. So yeah, I guess I do only have 9 whips, down from my high of 16. There's a cat playing with something over the table again. So my plan for next year is start all the things. Because I kept putting off starting things for fear of like having that huge whip list, and then I finally was like, okay, if I don't start these things, they're never gonna get stitched. And I realized that I was like just putting stuff off for later for literally no reason. Celtic Snow is a good example of that. I was like, why am I not just stitching this? I have everything for it. I want to start it. So I started it. Aurora Cabin, same thing. It had been in a drawer since it had been gifted to me in like 2018, and I was like, I want to start this. So I started it. And I have since decided, you know what? It's okay to have a lot of whips because you can still get a lot of finishes. Look at Sammy. If you guys don't follow Sammy J, she's amazing. She came to my retreat and we got to hang out a lot, and that was great, and she's coming next year. So is Sarah King from Our Stitching Kingdom. I've known Sammy since StitchCon of 2018. She and I are a lot alike. She's stitching one of her projects on one of my fabrics, and I squeal every time she like shows it. It ended up the thumbnail for one of her videos, and I was like, ah, that's my fabric. Ah. It's little things. I'm still a new dyer, and I haven't gotten to dye in over a year because I worked so much this summer. I was working an average of 65 hours a week from April until October. And so actually, no, geez, before that I was at overtime starting in about March at my main job, and then Kings Island started up, and between the two I was working 65 hours, and it was just absolutely just killing me. And then my knee finally just like called it quits at the end of the summer. And my doctor sent me, my orthopedic doctor sent me for an MRI. And when we got the MRI results, literally the appointment that I had with him to go over the MRI results started with this is the surgery we're going to be doing. So that tells you how bad my knee got over the summer from all those hours I was working. So yeah, I haven't had time to dye fabric. I've just been working too much. It's a full day thing to do, to set up everything. I did some test dyeing of some different techniques over the summer. Didn't like how any of them came out, so I didn't put any of those up. There was only like 2 fabrics that I liked how they turned out, and I decided to keep them for myself. I tried ice dyeing, I tried dip dyeing, and I don't remember the other kind I tried. And I tried dyeing floss, learned some stuff, didn't like how any of the floss came out. So that will be a future venture. But anyway, rabbit hole. Found out within the last year that I have ADHD, which if any of you have watched my videos for a long time, you're probably like, duh. Yeah, I have ADHD very badly. Like when I was diagnosed with it, I was diagnosed by a therapist. I have not been through formal testing. I'm scheduled to do the formal testing in January so that I can be medicated, because my insurance requires that. But the therapist who diagnosed me, she like went through this whole list of stuff. She was like, do you do this? Do you do this? And like literally everyone was like, yeah. Like it was every single one. And she was like, you are not only a stereotypical case, you are a stereotypical type of person who would not have been diagnosed as a child. I was a girl in the 90s and I was good at school. I almost never talk about this, but I do have a genius level IQ. I was a gifted kid. Gifted kids didn't get diagnosed with ADHD. It was a bad kid's disease in the 90s. And so I was completely overlooked. And looking back, it was like, how was it not obvious? Holy cow, how was it not obvious? It's obvious to me. Was not obvious to anyone else, apparently. But yeah, ADHD is real, y'all. And I really have it. So the rabbit holes are big and wide and long. So the starting all the things, I have a basket. Well, it's not a basket, it's a bag. This is a bag I got at Stitch Away 19. 19 was my first time. So this is a bag I got at Stitch Away 2019. I don't remember who makes it. Oh, right here. It is a Vivid Allon, Allon. And it's a really cool bag. It has lots of side pockets. It has inside pockets. And if I take this giant project bag out, it can go whoop, and zip up. It can zip up. It's got like little flaps here that you can zip it like with the top partially open, or you can fold the whole thing up into like a carpet bag style and zip it around. So this is a fabulous bag. It's great for storing like multiple things. Because I use 11 by 11 Q-snaps, I can't fit a lot of project bags with Q-snaps in them in here, but I can fit all of my ones that I want to start in here. I don't have anything in this project bag yet, but I'm going to show it off because it's super cute. This is handmade by Belle Stitches Pirates. This was, she posted in, I can't remember Ketty's overall company name, but she's the one who did the Haunted Mansion Sal, that was like the Disney Haunted Mansion Sal, and now she's doing a Pirates of the Caribbean one next year. So she posted in there, this lady posted in there that she was going to be making pirate project bags, and I was like, me please. So it comes, I got the full set, which included a grime guard that'll fit in 11 by 11, and the vinyl front notions tote as well. So this is a vinyl front project bag. She had a list of fabrics to pick for the inside and the outside, so I picked those two fabrics. And I don't know why I love this squid guy with a pirate on it. And it's like, she uses foam backing on hers instead of like a fleece interfacing, so it's like squishy. I like it. But yeah, I don't have anything in that yet, but it will fit in 11 by 11, so it'll be getting something. All right, so this is my bag of things that I want to start in 2022. At last count, there was 23 projects in here. I have added and subtracted to it, and subtracted from it, because I started Celtic Snow. That was in here. The flamingo was in here. Everything in here, except for 2 projects, has fabric chosen for it. Some of them are kits. Some of them are ones that are just DMC. If they're just DMC, I have a full set. So I have not pulled the threads for that. I keep them all in one main box. I call it my Big Bertha. It's the double-sided floss box that you've probably seen a lot of people use. So all of the DMC lives in Big Bertha, full line, good to go, don't need to worry anything. There are some that call for Krynics and hand-dyeds. I have most of the Krynics. There are a couple of hand-dyeds that I need to find. There's one that I'm converting. I need to go through and figure out which ones I'm using the DMC conversion. I'll talk about that later. But I'm gonna do half DMC and half hand-dyeds, just based on whether I think it needs the hand-dyed for how much it's being used. I also have all of the bead packs and embellishment packs if they called for them. So I'm just gonna start up here. Oh gosh, is this the front? This is the front. Although somehow this one slid to the back, that's not supposed to be. So we'll start with this. This is in a stitch and button bag. This was a gift, also a gift from Tiffany, Tiffer's World. It's the vintage Simplicity sewing patterns. Super cool. This is Garden Prelude by Mirabilia. I am color converting her so that her dress will be purples. And I had been looking for a long time for a fabric that I liked for the conversion that I'm doing. Here's the purples that I'm using. There's my, I like floss tossed them. There's my colors that I'm using. 550 is going to be the main color. And 550 and 3837 would be the two main colors of it. And then these are the highlight colors. And then, so I'm going to pull her out so you don't have the glare on the bag. So everywhere that her dress is teal is going to be purple. Everywhere that with the purple ribbon is going to be like a dark teal. So I'm really excited about that. Those are two of my favorite colors. I play viola, and there's a poem, which I have not been able to find in several years, but my private lessons teacher in high school had it, that was the color of the viola is purple. And she taught elementary school orchestra. And so a lot of times with elementary school, when you have little kids, they have violas, because for those who don't know, a viola is slightly larger than a violin, but it's strung like a cello. So it's got like a really neat, deep, mellow sound. And when you have a lot of little violins and little violas, you can't tell the difference between the two just by looking at them, unless they're full-sized. And so to keep from accidentally a string by tuning a viola to a violin, she would tie purple ribbons around the head of the scroll of all the violas. And so you could tell who in the regional orchestra that I was in had Miss King as a teacher, because we all had purple ribbons on our scroll. So that has always been a thing for me, and growing up, is that the color of the viola is purple. Well, again, I play viola, so my girl, she ain't playing violin, she's playing a viola. So she needs to have a purple dress. Also, purple is my favorite color, which you can probably tell by my purple bag. So this is 32 count Lugana, Opal Lugana, unnamed color by Live and Die LA, Valerie. And it is this lovely purple and teal. I saw this on one of her Fabric Fridays. She does, thank goodness it's Fabric Friday, every other Friday, most of the year. And I saw this one come up and I was like, oh, I have to have this. And it's perfect. Like I floss tossed it and it was perfect. So I was originally going to use Unipoo by Mystic Fabrics. And then I got this one and I loved it even more. So Unipoo shall be saved for another day. So there's project number 1 in the bag. You know what? We're going to count them as we go. So that was number 1. Number 2. This is from 2021 Cross Stitch, just Cross Stitch magazine, Halloween magazine. And it is by Autumn Lane Stitchery, Current Mood. Block the one over here. But the Current Mood pumpkins, where it's happy, afraid, cat, and angry. How funny is that? I had my husband pick this fabric. I was like, here's all of my purples. Which one do you like the best? And he picked 32 count linen, Opal linen in Sea Witch by Under the Sea Fabrics. That's not showing up very good. There we go. That's a nice purple. Very nice purple. So that's project number 2. Project number 3. This is what I was talking about earlier. That I'm going to go through and figure out where the colors are and how much they show as to whether I'm going to use the variegated or not. This is Pumpkin Patch Farm Sampler by the Victoria Sampler. Ugh, glare. There we go. And where it says, right here it says the Pumpkin Patch Farm. I have already gone through and charted out to where it's going to say the Shank Farm, because it reminds me of my mother-in-law's farm. Their little white house looks just like her little white house, and the little red barn looks like her little red barn, and their Farmall family with a classic Farmall red tractor right there in the middle. So that's gonna, they run a haunted trail out of the woods. My brother-in-law and his wife run a haunted trail out of the woods at the Shank Farm. So pumpkins, of course, are perfect because Halloween's really big there. I'm going to be stitching that on 32 count Lagana and mushroom. You know, just standard neutral. It calls for like 1.5 billion silks, and I'm not all about that life. I don't tend to use silks. They're just too damn expensive. So I may use a couple of the silks. I may order a couple of them. I will probably pull some from a small hand-dyed stash that I do have. I have some Weeks Color Works and Color and Cotton and things like that. And then the rest I'm just going to do DMC. So that's project 3. Number 4. This is an Etsy pattern. Why is this pattern so freaking huge? Oh my lord. Like, it's a little pattern, but it takes up 5 pages for some reason. This is by Tricky Thimble on Etsy. It's called The Humorous Thief. And it's a German Shepherd stealing their bone. Because that is 100% my dog. She loves to like chomp on arms. She doesn't bite. She's kind of like noms. And so the running joke, and right now is doing it. My watch is constantly covered in dog slobber. It's never clean. It's always covered in dog slobber because she's always going pop, 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 pop. So the dog is running away with the arm. It's supposed to be stitched in glow in the dark, so I'm going to stitch it in that glow in the dark DMC on, where'd my fabric go? Here we go. This is 28 count black Jovelin. So that's project number 4. Oh gosh. They're like all sliding down. Oh no! My paper is on the ground. How am I supposed to show you if my paper is on the ground? And my chair is really tall, which makes it hard to reach. Haha! Okay. So, project number 5 by the Witchy Stitcher. No feet. There was somebody in Witchy Stitcher's group that changed this to say no feets. And that's what we always say to our cats when they loaf and you can't see their arms at all. And we go, oh look, no feets. And so I'm going to make that say no feets. And I'm going to stitch it in glow in the dark, I think. I don't know, it's got a lot of color changes in it. I may or may not. So, going on the same piece of 28 count black Jovelin. All right, so that was project number 4. Cram it back in there. Like I said, these all are in here. I have the pattern and the fabric in here. And then any other specialty things it calls for. All right, this is, oh, we just found the name of it's New York Needleworks. This pattern has been retired. She does not have any of her Disney patterns up anymore. You could probably message her on Etsy and see if you could buy them private sale, because we know how Disney and Etsy are. This is vintage monorail poster. It's the Walt Disney World monorail with a contemporary resort, which is my favorite resort. And it says board at hotels and main entrance. It is a full coverage piece, but I'm not stitching it full coverage because the background is just like solid peach. And I was like, you know, not all about that life. So I'm going to stitch it on a hand dyed. And that is going to be, this is Rose Merita, 32 count Jovelin from Under the Sea. Nice peachy color. It's like perfect. So it's one of those that I saw it at Keepsakes and I was like, oh, I know exactly what I can use that for. And just bought what they had left. Because like by the time I cut it down to what I needed, there was going to be like nothing left but like a little tiny scrap. And I am a firm believer that if all you're going to leave is a little tiny scrap, just take it all. I'm really good at being like, yeah, I'll finish that bolt when I'm buying fabric. Instead of leaving them with like a, you know, like 1/8 of a yard remnant. Sorry, remnant people. I steal them all. All right. Project number 6. This is going to be project number 7. So this is Night Lights by Emma Congdon of Stitchrovia. My printer was doing funky things, so the colors are completely toast in that picture, but it's fine. And I'm going to be stitching that on. This is 32 count black linen that I specifically ordered for this project. I couldn't find a 32 count black even weave for some reason at the time, so I just went with the linen. See, this is where I'm like, I need to just stitch all these things because there's literally no reason for me not to. I have fabric for all of them. All right. And the picture has come off, so I'm just going to show you just the picture. This is Nora Corbett, Monkshood, part of the Poison Pixies. There she is. And I bought her with the embellishment pack. My cats are rampaging, so if you hear crashes. The kittens are definitely still kittens, they're just big kittens. And they knock things over. Like furniture. Alright, and here's the beads. And then she is going to be stitched on. This is Winter Solstice 28 count Opal Lugana by Mystic Fabrics. Really nice purpley blue. It's like a periwinkle color. It's very, very nice. And it looks really good with the coloring of Monkshood. So that's project number 7. We're still counting. Alright, number 8. I copied her pattern and I don't know where I put the original. Like, I made my working copy and I don't know where I put my original, so this is just the working copy that I made. This is Windermere Angel by Marbeck. Gosh, you can't see her at all. There she goes. She's so pretty. I've wanted to do her for a long time. I have finished a Marbeck Angel. I finished Arcadian Angel several years ago. And Windermere was one of the pictures, like the preview pictures on the back of it. And I've wanted to stitch it ever since. I started Arcadian Angel when I was in high school. So I wanted to do her for a very long time. And then I found her on the freebie table at Stitch Away a few years ago. She is going to go on 28 count Opal Lugana in Reflection by Mystic Fabrics. Beautiful, beautiful sky blue. And speaking of knocking furniture over, there's knocked over my sewing chair. Like, whole big old office chair is now on the ground. Get kittens, they said. It'll be fun, they said. It is fun. They're just demons. Okay. What did we decide that was? Project number 7? Crap, I'm gonna have to recount them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that right? Man, I really lost track, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's project number 9. I really lost count. That was number 9. Okay. Number 10. We're in double digits. We're not even halfway through this bag, y'all. It's gonna be a long video. Hope you're ready. Okay. This is Awesome Myth by Stitcherovia. Be so awesome, people think you're a myth. And I'm going to stitch that on 32 count Belfast White Opal Linen. It's kind of like my go-to white. In case you didn't notice, I really love opals. Like, I would say the majority of my stash is opal. Because why not be sparkly? Alright. Project number 11 is another Marbeck. This one I have the original. This is Snow Angel. She is also gorgeous. For those who don't know, the Marbecks call for like 100 million Krynics, which is why I'm not afraid of stitching in Krynics, because I did Arcadian Angel when I was 17. Alright, this is going on a 32 count Opal Lugana by Under the Sea Fabrics in Valkyrie. This was the fabric of the month a while ago, and I ordered a full yard of it. Whoa, so big. Because it's this beautiful, beautiful periwinkle. It's showing up a little bit more blue. It's got a purplish tint to it. And it's opal, of course. Got a little sparkle. I did join Under the Sea Fabric of the Month. I was in Misty's for a while, and then I left it. She was doing a lot of neutrals, and I'm just not a neutral kind of person. So I joined Leslie's in Under the Sea. Really enjoying it so far. I actually have a project in here on every one of the fabric of the months that I had received up to the point where I made this bag. And I think I know what project I'm going to do on this month's fabric of the month. So that's pretty funny. Oops. That's not where you go. You go there. Okay. Next up is another one by Stitchrovia. This is London by Stitchrovia. I have been looking for a London pattern that I liked since we went to London in 2018. I like this guy. It shows all the stuff that we did. It's got a black cab, it's got a double-decker bus, it's got the Tower Bridge, it's got the London Eye, all that good stuff. The shard, the gherkin, all those cool. And I'm just going to stitch that on, what count is this? I have a full yard of it. 32 count Lugana in white, because it's full coverage. Well, mostly full coverage. That is project number 12. So this is number 13. This is a Teresa Wentzler. I'm not going to pull it out, so sorry about the glare. Tapestry Cat. Got this off of a stash unloading site. I love Teresa Wentzler's. I did the castle in my early 20s. It's been hanging on my wall for well over a decade at this point. This is a kit. Comes with even weave of some flavor. I don't even know, what are you? 28 count. I'm going to use the kit fabric, kit floss. Alright, project number 14 is missing the cover page. It is missing the cover page. Well, that's exciting. So it is the, it's a Harry Potter sampler. It is full of specialty stitches. It's by Anastasia Zolotaiko on Etsy. I'm just going to hold it up real quick because this is the pattern overview. It's a band sampler of the entire first Harry Potter book. I saw somebody working on this at StitchCon in 2018 and I was like, I need you. And so I ordered it. All right. That was number 14. Number 15. Oh, I'm going to be stitching that on 28 count Lugana in Gray Skies by Valkyrie Stitchworks. It's going to go that way. Uh-oh, something's flashing at me. And we're back. I apparently grabbed the wrong memory card for my camera from the one that I thought I did, and it was my phone's old memory card that was like almost full. So I ran out of room, had to dump all the stuff off of it, and now we're back. And now we have a candy. This is like, it has to happen every FlossTube. There has to be an appearance by Candy. Here she is. All right, so picking up where we left off. We were on, I just shown you 2022 New Start number 14. And that was the Harry Potter sampler on the fabric that I dyed. The next one is another one where I only have the pattern. It was a free pattern. Don't remember where from. The Snarky Art Company. And I'm just gonna flash it real quick. There it is. And it's the quote from Harry Potter, "Happiness can be found in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light." I'm going to stitch it. It's called, the way it's called for is the letters in navy, but I'm going to change those to, I think I'm going to do them in glow in the dark white. I haven't decided. I'm either going to do them in glow in the dark white or like a sparkle white, because I'm stitching it on navy Lugana. It's just a, this is a 25 count because this is the piece that I had restarted Evolutions on. Decided I hated it. Or 28 count, sorry. But, you know, since it's a hate, I have like all of this room over here that I'm not using since I decided to restart that project on 25 count. So this is 28 count navy Lugana. Gonna change most of the colors in that because I want it to be really sparkly. Because it's supposed to be like a wand swishing through. So, you know, I think of that as being sparkly. So that's project number 15. Number 16 is yet another Marbeck. This is Woodland Angel. You see that? Candy, you're making this very difficult. All right. There she is. And she is going to be stitched on. This is 28 count linen in Ice Princess, opal linen, by Under the Sea. Oh, speaking of Under the Sea fabrics, while I was waiting for those files to transfer, I found the other half of the piece that I'm using for Anzac. It's called Fiery Skies. That really gorgeous red and orange with the blue on the outside of it. It's called Fiery Skies. So this is Ice Princess. Very nice. I mean, it's ice blue, and it's an opal. And Candy, you are driving me insane. I love you. The dog is still outside. I'm like, she's a German Shepherd. It might be cold outside, but she can handle it. Now she's barking at the neighbor. That's my net case dog for you. That's project number 17. Yay. 17? Crap. I remember which one was project 10, so I can count from there. 10. That's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's project 16. All right, so this is 17. This is a kit by The Art of Disney. I actually did buy this at Disney. Still got the Disney price tag on it. We're not going to talk about how much I paid because Disney prices. It is a Thomas Kincaid, and it doesn't have a name, but it's Cinderella's Castle. And I am going to use the kit fabric and the kit thread. It is not full coverage, so it needs to be that color of light blue. And rather than trying to find a hand dyed that matches it or anything like that, I'm just going to stitch it with the kit fabric. Oh my gosh, my dog is barking at the neighbors. Knock it off. Anyway, number 18, Halloween Treats by Sue Hillis. So it's a cute little Halloween poem. I am not stitching it on the called for neutral. I am stitching it on Witching Hour by Under the Sea. I'm going to hold this up in front of something so you can see how dark it is. It's really nice dark purple. Very pretty. And I'm going to be stitching it with Carrot by Gentle Arts. So I'll be changing a couple of the colors just because they won't stand out very well on here. Like the skeleton is outlined in black. I think I'm probably just going to, I might just remove the outlining. I don't know, we'll see. So that was number 17. Right? 15. Yeah, 15, 16, 17. This is number 18. And again, the picture fell off. This is one of the Bewitching Pixies series from Nora Corbett. This is Emmy. She's the little archer. I got her from a stash unloading with the bead pack. And I will be stitching her on, this is last month's Fabric of the Month from Under the Sea, 32 count Lugana in Hestia. Really nice orangey color. It's the only orange fabric I've got really. It's like a creamsicle orange. I was gonna change the colors in here because I wasn't a big fan of the green. And then I got this fabric and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna keep them. This will look really good on there. That's project 18. Project number 19, Pretty Little London. That's by Satsuma Street. So that's gonna be the second of my London projects that I do. That is going to be on Whimsical Winter, 40 count linen from Under the Sea. It's an opal because I apparently don't buy anything except opal. And it has a spot in it. Uh-oh. I'll just have to make sure I stitch over that. But it's this nice blue-gray. I'm stitching it on this. This literally reminds me of the color of the skies of 90% of the time that we were in England. It was sunny our first full day in London, the day that we did the London Eye. It was sunny that day. And that was it. That was the only sunny day. It was cloudy and gray the entire rest of the time that we were there. So my pictures from the London Eye are gorgeous and bright and sunny, and then no sun after that. So I needed a gray England sky. All right, project number 20. This is something that my grandma got to stitch for me, but she never started it. And so she passed it on to me many years ago, actually. I've been wanting to start it. I found it when going through some stuff. So this is a Janlin kit called Cat's Eyes. You can see it's got the 4 kitties in it. It is a kit. It came with 14 count Aida. She put some 28 count Jobelan in there. I may actually switch this out for 32. I've got a piece big enough for it. I've got a full yard sitting over here. Plus I have literally a whole bolt of 32 count linen or Lugana. Just because the coverage will be better on the 32 count on this black. I'm going to stitch this black on 3 strands, just to make sure it's got like really good coverage. So that's number 20. Are we almost at the end here? What? We sure are. Wow. All right, so this is number 21. Oh, the plastic is like, it just fell apart. So hopefully everything is still in there. Yep, there's the beads. All right. This accidentally sat out in the sun before I got it. So this is a dimensions kit. The plastic cover is falling apart. I'm going to need to find a bag to put that in ASAP. This is Woodland Enchantress. I also have the Fall Fairy that is her companion piece. Don't know when I'm going to start her because I want to do this lady first. I'm going to do that with kit fabric and kit thread because if it's a thing, I just keep it a thing. I'm actually going to leave that out to remind me that she needs to be put in a different bag. All right. And then I do have a stack of patterns printed out that I don't have fabric picked out for yet. And apparently I don't have cover photos for most of these. This one is from Puntago Patterns. I'm just gonna flash it. Boop. And it says, yes, I really do need all these cats. And has a cat hanging upside down in one corner. For those of you who don't know, I have 5 cats. This one is also from Etsy. I'm trying to see if it's got this designer name on it. I may have to go look it up because it does not. It's one of the Russian designers because it does have some instructions in Russian. Just gonna flash it. Boop. It is an open book with a landscape kind of blooming out of it. And it says just one more chapter. Because they say, like, they always say, like, if you have problems sleeping, you know, you should read before bed instead of being on your phone or anything like that. And I'm like, if I read a book before bed, I will finish it. I won't go to sleep. I will finish the book. I read a lot. I've recently discovered audiobooks over the last... I started reading audiobooks in about 2019, I think. Listening to audiobooks. And I recently got a state library card from the State Library of Ohio, which gives me access to like almost every library in the entire state. And it's like, I opened it for the first time after I got my library card. I opened the Libby app and was like looking through it, and I was just like, I was like blown away. I was like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was literally speechless in the number of books. So that was amazing. I also recently got, I have an Android phone, so I don't have AirPods, but I have like a non-Apple version of AirPods, the true wireless headphones. And I have taken to having one of them in at work when it's fairly quiet and listening to my book when there's nothing going on. So making good progress. So yeah, moving on. ADHD is real. This was a freebie pattern. Literally no idea where it came from. I downloaded it from Facebook. And it's a sampler, but if you look closely at it, that is not an alphabet. I don't do samplers. I'm actually deleting the alphabet out of Death by Cross Stitch because I just don't like alphabets. I don't like stitching them. I don't like the look of them. I don't like anything about them. So the fact that this says, instead of an alphabet, it says, this is a fucking heirloom. I will do that in some variety of variegated that I have in my stash. Not sure what. It's got little reindeers in it, and I've got a skein of holly. I think it's called Holly Jolly from Live and Die LA. That's green, red, and blue. I may use that. Not green, red, and blue. Green, red, and white. It's very Christmassy. I may do that in this. This, in, that, words. Last one. This is by Allerton Embroidery on Etsy. If you can't make your own neurotransmitters, store-bought is fine. I didn't say that right. If you can't make your own neurotransmitters, store-bought is fine. I do take antidepressants, and I also am going to be starting on ADHD meds soon. I take my meds. I don't make my own neurotransmitters in several different varieties, and so I buy my own. All right, and while I was moving stuff off of my memory card, I went and got the 2 Bella Filipinas that I ordered. I ordered them from Charting Creations because I was also ordering the fabric for my New Year New Start, which I'm going to have to show you guys because I just realized that's not in here because I'm going to be using Pattern Keeper for it. But I wanted the 25 count easy count Lugana. I ordered it from, I was trying to find someplace that had it and the 2 Bella Filipinas that I wanted in stock. And so it ended up being coming from Charting Creations. Pretty quick shipping considering it was coming from Canada and really reasonably priced. I'm not sure how they make it work because like it comes from Canada, but it comes from a Niagara Falls, New York address. So I don't know if they like have a New York address that they can mail it from to make it cheaper in the US, but either way. So I ordered 2 Bella Filipinas, and I'm going to show you those, and then I'm going to show you the New Year New Start that I'm doing, which is a full coverage. So the first one, this is the one that I was like, I was looking for something else, and this happened to pop up in like the recommended, I don't remember if it was like on 123 Stitch or what it was, but this popped up and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to stitch that. This is Mayari, Deity of the Moon. Hold her up close. And she's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. I do not have fabric for her. I know what I'm going to stitch her on, but the piece that I have is not big enough. I thought it was, but it's not. It would give me like 1/4 of an inch of border, and I'm not okay with that. So I have a fat 1/4 of it. I need to order a half. And then I also ordered Luna Mystica. There she is. And I'm going to stitch her on the same fabric, so I'm going to use that 1/4 that I have to start her. And then I'm going to order the half for the bigger one. And I'm going to stitch them both on 32 count linen in The Deep by Live and Die LA. It's this beautiful dark blue. It's actually showing up brighter on the camera than it is. It is a very dark, gorgeous, rich blue. And I think both of those are going to look really good on that. So that's projects number 21 and 22 that I have like together. I haven't decided fabrics for these other 3 yet. 3, 4, something like that. And then I did get my most recent Fabric of the Month from Under the Sea. I got it yesterday. And this is 32 count opal linen. I'm not sure why it came in linen. I don't know if she didn't dye it enough in Lugana or what, but I'm fine with it in linen because it came out so pretty. The Lugana version is lighter, and like when I got it, I was like, I am so glad that she sent me linen in this. So this is Luna. It is so pretty. It's all these gorgeous dark purple and teal. Very, very pretty. I thought about putting Luna Mystica on this, but then I decided I wanted to do both of them on the same color because I think they would look really pretty side by side. And that is everything that I have planned to start for 2022. So that's 22 planned starts for 2022. Well, 23 because of the one that I have on here. So this is what I'm planning to do for my New Year, New Start. It's a project by Z Anna on Etsy, and it's a full coverage. And it is, oh, I do this without, there we go. Anna and Olaf. Because again, I'm obsessed with Frozen. Wow, that trashed my white balance. But yeah, that's, I'm going to start that on New Year's Day is my intention. I did order the fabric for it. It is here. I'm going to go through my, all of my floss tonight, and figure out what I'm missing, because some of it calls for multiple skeins of colors. For all my full coverages, I prefer them to have their own floss box, rather than pulling from my master set. So I'm going to build a floss box for it and figure out what I'm missing, and then I have a plan to go to Joann Fabrics tomorrow, because I'm still not self-mobile enough after my knee surgery to go to Joann Fabrics by myself, because I have to use a wheelchair, and I can't wheelchair and hold fabrics. So my best friend's gonna meet me at Joann Fabrics after she gets off work tomorrow, and we're gonna do some shopping. I also need to pick up some fabric to make a bag for a friend of mine that she ordered for Christmas, because I don't have any tangled fabric apparently. Who knew? I have like boxes and boxes and boxes of fabric, and I don't have tangled fabric. I like to joke that my masks that I sold last year basically just financed my fabric buying habit, because my fabric stash, which was already huge, has probably doubled since the beginning of last year. All right, so that is everything. This video is already stupid long. I know it's over an hour, because it was at an hour when my camera ran out of space. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I hope to film again in January. It should be a little easier to film. The trick is going to be remembering, because I have the memory span of a gnat. I would say goldfish, but goldfish have longer memories than I do. So hopefully my friends will keep me honest on that and remind me, hey, you need to film a FlossTube. So here's Candy. Everybody needs to see Candy's butt in every one of my videos. So I will link, I'll link several people down below, some other FlossTubers. I know Sarah King at Our Stitching Kingdom has been doing the Under 1,000 Subs Club. So I'm going to finish this video off by doing that, which is bringing up FlossTubers who have less than 1,000 subscribers. I do have less than 1,000. I'm sitting right around 700 something right now. So hopefully, now that I have a new video up, maybe we'll come out of that club fairly soon. But in the meantime, I'm part of the Under 1,000 Sub Club, and I would like to shout out somebody else who is in the Under 1,000 Sub Club. They just hit 500 stitches, or 500 stitches, wow, 500 subscribers, and that is Mad Morty. Morty's one of my friends that's over in the UK. She films with her husband, David. She has this amazing gothic aesthetic to her videos, to her house, to her stitching. She's fabulous. She's also like the nicest person. Her husband is, the two of them together are hilarious. So definitely go check her out. I will link her below. And with that, I will bid you all a fond farewell. We will bid 2021 a maybe not so fond farewell, and I will see you next time. Bye!